Hi, I'm going to give you a brief tutorial walkthrough on Lesson 1 in the Adobe Golive CS2 Classroom in a Book book. First step would be to start Adobe Golive. So I'm going to use the Office button and type in Golive and click it. Adobe Golive is web editing software. It's a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And basically it allows you to lay out pages and connect them together to form a website. This is the welcome screen here. You can choose a new document or open a document. The textbook suggests that we open a document, so I could either close this and go File Open, or I can go Open Document. And I'm going to look for the Lesson 1 folder on the U drive in Adobe CIB. So U drive, Adobe CIB, Golive, Lessons, Lesson 1, and I'm going to open the Lesson 1 site file. And there we have it. We have our website. Over on the left hand side here we have something that looks a lot like Windows Explorer, and basically what it shows is the folders and files and contents of our actual website, all the things that go together to build that site. And over on the right hand side we have some specialized tools that can help with website construction and maintenance. Over on the left side we have a fairly substantial toolbar. On the top, like you're used to seeing in Adobe Photoshop and Illustrator, you have some tooltips, some selection tools, and something different here, you have a set of, in a way, function buttons, or mode buttons. And you have basic, smart, CSS are going to be the ones that we use most frequently. And those modes contain various tooltips. A lot of these ones are going to be activated by physically grabbing and dragging and dropping and placing on a web page. Over on the right hand side of the screen we have a bunch of palettes. One of the ones that we're going to use very frequently is the inspector palette, and we'll see how it works in a minute or two. And then there's some color swatches and a CSS palette on the bottom here. Okay, so we've got our website open, and notice there's a little bug here. That means that there's a broken link on one of the pages. So the Lesson 1 start page has a link that is broken. Let's go to the index page, as in step number 5 on page 45, and it says double click the index page. That opens that page, and we can have a look at it and see what's going on. And then we're going to go back and we're going to step on Lesson 1 start page and have a look at that one. Make this a little tiny bit bigger. Notice it's missing a few things, and that's what we're about to work on as far as fixing is concerned. Now, you can only have one index page in a site, so this one shouldn't be called index. Indeed, it should be called admissions. So we're going to go File, Save as Admissions. Now we're at the point where we can have a look at some of the tools in our program here and see how they work. On the bottom left hand corner you have zoom controls, so you can pick a size and then use the pan tool or the hand tool to move around to the page. You can also use the magnifying glass to zoom in, or then there's a plus and minus controls on the bottom here, zoom in, zoom out. Or alternatively, you can return by clicking the 100%. And that brings us through page 47 and 48. And 49 talks about using window, workspace, default, or customizing. And toolbox down the side, and breaking up the object palettes here, using some of the objects that are sitting in this palette here. And that's where we're going to pick it up again on page 54, using the draggable basic objects. So we need to be in basic mode. We need to find the one in here that says image, and if we are patient, the screen tip or tool tip will show what it is. We'll go drag and drop and we'll throw it in place. Now this image does need to be set up in a certain location, and if you look up in the top here right now, our location says 608 and 2 whatever. If I really wanted to, I could come in the top here and I could type in physically 9 like that, and this one here at 208, and that's where it would go. And then the next step would be to actually put an image into that object. We're going to pick our image and we're going to go to our browse button, and we're going to go into the U drive, and we're going to be looking in the lesson 1 folder, and somewhere in our lesson 1 folder the image that's called a student photo right there, and go open, and in the picture goes. And we're going to use that thing, and we're going to drag this thing to make it go over top of this column here, or maybe we'll see if we can move this column to drag it underneath the image. And push it up a bit. This is one of the weaknesses of using the grid layout. It tends to push things around kind of randomly. So we've just used the inspector tool in a way to put an image into a draggable basic object. Other than that, we could go and we could preview what we've done. Use the preview button, and there's the picture we put in. And beyond that, I don't think there's anything that we need to look at in lesson 1.